Yeah, good day, friends. Today we're going to start this topic, elasticity. And in the course of this video lesson, we're going to be explaining the definition of elasticity, the definition of an elastic material, and we're going to talk about Hooke's law. We're going to also derive some few formulas from Hooke's law. Now, let's start with the definition of elasticity. And what is elasticity? Elasticity is a branch of physics that deals with how a material is deformed when an applied force is applied to on it. Right? Elasticity is a branch of physics that deals with how a material is deformed when applied by an external force. Elasticity is a branch of physics that deals with how a material deforms or loses shape when applied by an external force. Now, what is an elastic material? An elastic material is a material that can be able to return back to its original shape and size when the external force has been removed from it. For example, a rubber band. If I'm to bring a rubber band here and I'm to apply a force on it, I will widen out rubber band. Now, if I'm to leave the band, if it can be able to go back to its original shape and size before I apply that force, that material is an elastic material. Now, we cannot excuse this man called Robert Hooke. Now, Robert Hooke was a scientist and he brought about what we call Hooke's law. Now, what does Hooke's law state? Hooke's law states that the extension of an elastic material is directly proportional to the applied force, having that the elastic limit is not exceeded. Hooke's law states that the extension E is directly proportional to the applied force, which is F, having the elastic limit not exceeded. What does it mean? It means that if the force is directly proportional to the extension, what does it mean? This is very, very simple. If I'm to bring a rubber band here and I'm to apply a force on it, the more force I apply, the more it expands. The more force I apply, the more it expands. That is Hooke's law. The extension is directly proportional to the applied force, but the elastic limit must not be exceeded, which means you will not have to draw that band to the point whereby it will cut or it will lose shape. That is just what Hooke's law is all about. Now, we say the force is that this is a sign of proportionality. It's directly proportional to the extension. Now, in variation, a topic in mathematics called variation, if you have this sign, you change this sign to equal to, then you introduce a constant. Then you have F is equal to the constant K E, because E is already here. You just introduce, if you remove this sign, introduce equal to and introduce this constant. Now, we want to make K, which is this constant, the subject of formula. So we can just divide both sides by E, because we want to make K stand on its own. Alright? So therefore, K is equal to F over E. Now, this K, we call it the elastic constant or the spring constant. In some cases, we call it the stiffness of that elastic material. Okay? We stated what elasticity is. It's a branch of physics that talks about how a material is deformed when applied by an external force. We talked about an elastic material. We say it's the material that can be able to return back to its original shape after the external force has been removed from it. Then we talked about Robert Hooke and we brought about Hooke's law. We say that Hooke's law states that the extension is directly proportional to the applied force. When we say something is directly proportional, it means that as the extension is increasing, as the force is increasing, the extension is increasing. The more you increase the force, the more the extension increases. The more you increase the force, the more it expands. The more it expands. That is Hooke's law. And we are able to bring out the formula. F is directly proportional to E. Then we have to bring this equal to sign and introduce a constant K. For us to make K subject, we have to divide both sides by E. And we say K is what we call the spring constant or the stiffness in some cases. Alright? So this is it. Now, how about when in questions where we are given two forces and we are given two extensions? That means we have F1 and F2. See, it is just very easy. You just relate both of them. You have F1 over E1 will be equal to F2 over E2. this is in a case when you are giving force 1 and force 2, or extension 1 and extension 2. Alright? You will see it in the question. We're going to solve questions, you see how this thing works. Then how about in cases where you are given 3 forces? Now, if you are given 3 forces, you just, the formula is F3 minus F2 all over E3 minus E2 is equal to F2 minus F1 all over E2 minus E1. This is the formula. We are going to solve questions. We are going to see that it is not hard. It is not hard at all. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please drop a like. Share to your friends that we will need it. Thank you very much.